The empty space between stars was supposed to be quiet. Commander Sarah Chen had always loved that silence during her scout missions. But now, floating in the broken pieces of her ship, that silence felt like death. Her breathing mask hissed softly. Only 2 hours of air left. Maybe less. The distress beacon on her suit had stopped working an hour ago. She could see the sparking wires where shrapnel had cut through it. Her left arm wouldn't move right, and something warm and sticky covered her ribs. Blood, probably. She tried not to think about it. The Jektar attack had come from nowhere. One moment she was scanning an asteroid field for minerals, the next her ship was in pieces. The spider-like ships had torn through her shields like paper. They didn't even stop to check if anyone survived. Why would they? Nobody survived in deep space. Not alone. Not this far from any trade route. Sarah closed her eyes. She thought about her daughter back on Earth. Maya would be 12 now, almost 13. Sarah had promised to be back for her birthday. Another promise she wouldn't keep. A shadow fell across her face. Sarah opened her eyes, expecting to see more debris. Instead, a ship hung above her. It wasn't human. The hull was smooth and pearl white, shaped like a teardrop. Soft blue lights ran along its sides. She'd never seen anything like it. The ship moved closer. A beam of green light touched her, and suddenly she felt warm. Her body began floating up toward an opening in the ship's belly. Sarah wanted to struggle, but she had no strength left. Whatever these aliens wanted, she couldn't stop them. Inside the ship, gravity caught her gently. She fell onto something soft. The air smelled strange but clean. Shapes moved around her. Tall shapes with too many arms. Careful, a voice said. It spoke English, but with an accent she'd never heard. Her injuries are severe. 4-armed beings surrounded her. They had smooth gray skin and large eyes that seemed to shine with their own light. Their faces looked almost human, but stretched longer. One of them, wearing what looked like a blue robe, knelt beside her. I am Captain Tyrell, he said. His voice was deep and calm. You are safe now. Sarah tried to speak, but only managed a whisper. What are you? We are Vailani, Tyrell said. One of his 4 hands touched a device, and Sarah felt the pain in her ribs fade. We heard your distress signal. We came to help. Another Vailani, smaller and wearing red, pushed forward. Captain, we must leave now. The Jektar patrol will return soon. Tyrell didn't move. How long until her condition is stable? 20 minutes at least. But Captain, we stay. The red-robed alien's eyes went wide. Captain, we have 50,000 souls on this ship. 50,000. Our entire colony. We cannot risk them for one alien stranger. Sarah understood now. This wasn't a military ship or even a trader. It was a colony ship, families, children, and they'd stopped for her. Please, Sarah whispered. Go, save yourselves. Tyrell looked down at her. In his large eyes, she saw something she recognized. Pain. Old pain. No, he said simply. We do not leave people to die. Not anymore. The ship shook suddenly. Alarms began wailing. Jektar fighters! Someone shouted. 3 of them coming fast! The red-robed Vailani grabbed Tyrell's shoulder. Captain, please. We cannot fight them. Our shields are made for asteroids, not weapons. Think of the children. Tyrell stood. His 4 hands moved across a control panel with surprising speed. All power to shields. Engineering, give me everything we have. Navigation, plot a jump to hyperspace. We need 4 minutes to charge the drive. Then we give them 4 minutes. The ship shook again. Harder this time. Sarah could hear children crying somewhere in the ship. The sound broke her heart. These people were refugees running from something, and now they were dying because of her. A younger Vailani ran to Tyrell. This one looked barely grown, with smaller arms and brighter skin. Father, the rear shield is failing. Father, the captain's child. Sarah watched Tyrell's face tighten, but his voice stayed steady. Redirect power from life support in sections 7 through 12. Evacuate those areas first. Captain, the red-robed one said. If we release the human now, the Jektar might... No. Tyrell's voice turned hard as stone. We do not buy our lives with others' deaths. The ship spun suddenly, throwing everyone to the side. Sarah heard metal tearing. The lights flickered and went red. Hull breach in section 5. Sealing now. Shields at 30%. 2 minutes to hyperspace. Through it all, Tyrell stood calm at the center, giving orders. His daughter, Sarah realized it was his daughter, worked beside him. They moved together like they'd done this before. Too many times before, Sarah tried to sit up. The medical device on her ribs beeped in protest. "Give me a weapon," she said. "I can help." Tyrell glanced at her. "You can barely breathe. Rest. I'm a pilot." You can survive," he said. "That is how you help us now." The ship rocked again. Through a window, Sarah saw the Jektar fighters. They looked like metal spiders with too many legs, each one ending in a weapon. Their shots were tearing the colony ship apart piece by piece. 1 minute to hyperspace. "We won't last 1 minute." The red-robed Vellani shouted. Tyrell moved to a different panel. "Yes, we will," he looked at his daughter. "Keela, remember what I taught you about sacrifice?" The young Vellani nodded, her eyes bright with fear and determination. "Sometimes," Tyrell said, "we must risk everything to do what is right." His 4 hands danced across controls, releasing cargo pods 3 through 7, detonating fuel reserves inside them. Now. The explosion lit up space. The Jektar fighters scattered, surprised. It gave them seconds, but seconds were all they needed. "Jump drive ready. All hands brace for hyperspace." Reality twisted. Sarah's stomach turned inside out. Colors that shouldn't exist flashed past the windows. Then suddenly stillness. They were in hyperspace. Safe. For now. Tyrell slumped against his console. His daughter caught him. Sarah saw now that one of his arms was badly burned. He'd been hiding it. "Captain," the red-robed Vellani said quietly, "we lost 40% of our fuel reserves. 3 crew members died sealing the hull breaches. Our navigation array is damaged. The Jektar marked us. They will hunt us now." He looked at Sarah. "All for one stranger." Tyrell straightened, despite his injury. 43 years ago, I was a young officer. We detected a refugee ship under attack. I argued we should not stop. I said it was not our problem. My captain listened to me. He closed his eyes. 300 souls died that day because I was afraid. I hear them still in the quiet moments. Never again. The room went silent. The red-robed Vellani bowed his head. Sarah felt tears on her cheeks. These people had lost so much to save her. One person. A stranger. A species they'd never even met before. "Thank you," she whispered. Tyrell looked at her with those large, kind eyes. "Rest now, human. When you are well, you can tell us about your people. But for now, rest. You are safe with us." As the medical devices hummed around her, Sarah closed her eyes. But she wasn't thinking about rest. She was thinking about the promise forming in her heart. These people had paid in blood to save her. Somehow, someday, she would pay them back. Every single one of them. She didn't know how yet. But she would find a way. Humans always did. Sarah woke to soft singing. The voice was high and sweet like a child's. She opened her eyes to find a young Vellani sitting beside her bed. The child had the same gray skin as the others, but her eyes were bigger, more curious. She held something in her 4 hands, a piece of fabric she was weaving while she sang. "Oh," the child said, stopping her song. "You're awake. I should get the healer." "Wait," Sarah said. Her voice came out stronger than before. The pain in her ribs was almost gone. "What's your name?" "I'm Keela. Captain Tyrell is my father." The child tilted her head. "You're human, aren't you?" "We learned about your species in school, but I've never seen one before." Sarah smiled. "Yes, I'm human. My name is Sarah." "Sarah," Keela repeated, testing the strange sounds. "That's pretty. Do all humans have hair that color?" "It's like the sunset on our old world." "Our old world?" Sarah asked. Keela's face fell. "We can't go back. The Jektar came 6 months ago. They said our planet had resources they needed. They gave us 30 days to leave." Her young voice carried weight it shouldn't have to. Not everyone made it to the ships. Before Sarah could respond, the door opened. A Vellani in white robes entered, the healer, Sarah guessed. Behind him came Captain Tyrell, his burned arm now wrapped in something that glowed soft blue. "You heal quickly," the healer said, checking readings on a device. "Your species is stronger than you appear." "How long was I asleep?" Sarah asked. 3 days, Tyrell answered. "We've been traveling through hyperspace, but we must stop soon. Our fuel is nearly gone." Sarah sat up carefully. "Captain, I need to contact my people. Earth needs to know I'm alive." Tyrell and the healer exchanged looks. "We can try," the captain said slowly. "But first you should know our situation." He led her to a window. Sarah gasped. The colony ship was massive, but she could see the damage even from inside. Whole sections were dark. Patches of different colored metal showed where holes had been repaired. The ship looked like it had been through a war, which she realized it had. We are heading for the outer territories, Thyril explained. Empty space where we hope to find a new home. But the Jektar marked us as enemies when we saved you. They will follow. Because of me, Sarah said quietly. Because we chose what was right. Thyril corrected. Come, let me show you something. They walked through the ship. Sarah saw families crowded into small spaces. Children played with simple toys made from scraps. Adults worked on repairs with whatever they could find. Everyone looked tired, but when they saw their captain, they stood straighter. They trusted him completely. They reached a large room filled with plants. It was beautiful and sad at the same time. Trees grew in containers, their roots visible through glass sides. Flowers bloomed in careful rows. The air smelled like earth and growing things. All that remains of our world, Thyril said. We saved what we could. Seeds, saplings, memories. An elderly Vailani worked among the plants. She looked up and smiled. Captain, and our human guest, feeling better? Yes, thank you, Sarah said. The old one handed her a small fruit. Try this. It's from my own garden before, Sarah bit into it. The taste was sweet and strange like nothing on earth. It's wonderful. We have seeds, the old one said. Wherever we go, we'll grow them again. We'll make a new home. As they walked back, Sarah's mind raced. These people had nothing, but they'd shared everything with her. They were running for their lives, but they'd stopped to save hers. In the communication room, Thyril worked with the equipment. We can send a message, but it will take time to reach Earth, and we must be careful. If the Jektar intercept it, I understand, Sarah said. She thought carefully about what to say. Finally, she began recording. This is Commander Sarah Chen, identification code Delta 779. I'm alive. My ship was destroyed by Jektar forces, but I was rescued by a Vailani colony ship. These people saved my life at great cost to themselves. They're refugees, 50,000 souls, mostly families. They need help. She paused, then continued. I'm transmitting coordinates for a possible rendezvous. The Vailani are peaceful. They've shown nothing but kindness. They need fuel, supplies, medical aid. This is Commander Chen, requesting immediate assistance. After sending the message, they waited. Hours passed, then days. Finally, a response came through. Sarah recognized the voice immediately. Admiral Jackson, her commanding officer. Commander Chen, good to hear you're alive. However, Earth's position on the current conflict is neutrality. We cannot risk involvement with the Jektar situation. A ship will be sent to retrieve you at the following coordinates. You are ordered to leave the Vailani vessel immediately upon pickup. Jackson out. Sarah stared at the communicator. Thyril touched her shoulder gently with one hand. We understand, he said. You must go to your people. We're grateful for the time you gave us. No, Sarah said. This isn't right. You saved me. You're refugees, children, families. And Earth must protect itself, Thyril said sadly. We understand this too. Fear makes many decisions for us. That night Sarah couldn't sleep. She walked the ship, seeing families preparing for another day of uncertainty. She found Kyla teaching younger children a song. Their parents worked on repairs, made meals from limited supplies, held each other when they thought no one was looking. In the observation deck, she found the red-robed Vailani from before. She'd learned his name was Velthor, the ship's second in command. I owe you an apology, he said when he saw her. I argued against saving you. I was wrong. You were protecting your people, Sarah said. I understand. No, Velthor said. I was afraid. The captain was right. When we let fear choose for us, we lose who we are. He looked out at the stars. Your people won't help us, will they? Sarah wanted to lie, but couldn't. Official channels say no. But humans, we're complicated. Not everyone follows orders. You would help us if you could? With everything I have, Sarah said without hesitation. The next day they dropped out of hyperspace to conserve fuel. Almost immediately alarms sounded. Jektar scout ship, someone shouted. They found us! The scout was small but fast. It circled them like a shark, sending signals to call the fleet. How long until more arrive? Thyril asked. 6 hours, maybe less, and the human pickup? 4 hours. Sarah grabbed Thyril's arm. Come with us. When my ship arrives, transfer everyone. We'll take you to Earth. Your admiral said, I don't care what he said. I won't leave you to die. Thyril smiled sadly. Your ship won't have room for 50,000. And Earth won't want us. We bring danger with us now. The hours crawled by. The Jektar scout kept circling, waiting. Sarah helped where she could, but her mind was elsewhere. She was thinking, planning, remembering every favor she was owed, every friend who might help. When the human ship arrived, it was small, military, efficient. The pilot's voice came through cold and professional. "Commander Chen, prepare for transport." Sarah turned to Tyrell and his daughter. The captain held out something, a small wooden carving of a tree. "From our world," he said. "So someone remembers?" Sarah took it, her throat tight. "This isn't goodbye." "Be safe, Sarah Chen," Keela said. "Maybe someday you can show me Earth's blue oceans. Father says they're beautiful." "You'll see them," Sarah promised. "All of you will. I swear it." As the transport beam took her, Sarah saw the Jektar fleet dropping out of hyperspace. Dozens of ships. The colony ship started to run, but they were so slow, so damaged. On the human ship, Sarah immediately went to the communication console. The pilot tried to stop her. "Ma'am, you need to report to medical later," Sarah said, pushing past him. She had calls to make, favors to collect, promises to keep. The Vailani had saved one human. Now it was time for humanity to return the favor. The Earth Council chamber was cold and formal. Sarah stood in the center, still wearing her flight suit, facing 5 admirals who looked like they'd rather be anywhere else. Admiral Jackson sat in the middle, his face unreadable. "Commander Chen," he began, "you directly disobeyed orders by suggesting military intervention. You attempted to use military communication channels to organize unauthorized rescue operations. These actions could be considered treason." Sarah stood straighter. "Sir, the Vailani colony ship has 50,000 refugees. Families, children. They saved my life when they had every reason not to." "One life," Admiral Torres said from Jackson's left, "does not justify risking Earth's neutrality. The Jektar Empire controls 40 systems. We control 12. Do the math, Commander." "I have done the math," Sarah shot back. 50,000 innocent lives equals 50,000 innocent lives. That's my math. Admiral Jackson's jaw tightened. "You're emotionally compromised. These Vailani mean nothing to Earth. They're not our allies. They're not our trading partners. They're strangers." "They were strangers to me too," Sarah said quietly. "But they stopped anyway." "The decision is final," Jackson said. "You're confined to quarters pending a full review. Dismissed." Sarah left the chamber, but she didn't go to her quarters. Instead, she went to a small bar in the lower districts where soldiers drank and told stories. The Broken Wing, they called it. She knew the owner, Marcus Webb, from her academy days. He'd lost his leg in a pirate raid 10 years back. "Sarah Chen," Marcus said when she walked in. "Heard you were dead." "I was. The Vailani brought me back." She sat at the bar. "Marcus, I need to use your comm system." He raised an eyebrow. "The unofficial one?" "The very unofficial one." Marcus poured her a drink. "This about those refugees?" "Word travels fast. Brass won't help them?" "No, but maybe others will." Marcus limped to a back room, gesturing for her to follow. The communication setup was old but powerful. It could reach ships across 3 sectors without going through military channels. "Who first?" Marcus asked. "Captain Rodriguez. He owes me 3 favors from the Titan Station incident." The first call went through. Rodriguez's scarred face appeared on screen. "Chen, that really you?" "It's me. I need to collect on those favors." She told him everything. The rescue. The Vailani. The children singing songs while their ship fell apart. Rodriguez listened without interrupting. "My merchant fleet isn't military," he said when she finished. "We've got mining lasers and freight haulers. I'm not asking for a war fleet. I'm asking for help." Rodriguez was quiet for a moment. "How many ships do you need?" "All of them." He laughed, but it wasn't mocking. "You always did think big. I've got 47 ships. They're yours." The second call was to Lisa Park, who ran a private security company. Sarah had saved her brother's life 5 years ago. "Absolutely not," Lisa said at first. "We're contractors, not heroes." "Your brother was nobody to me," Sarah reminded her. "I saved him anyway," Lisa sighed. "Damn you, Chen. 17 combat-ready vessels. That's what I can spare." Sarah made call after call. Tom Bradley from the Mining Guild. Jennifer Stone from the Colonial Defense Force. Miguel Santos from the Freight Union. Each had a story. Each owed her, or someone she knew, or just believed in paying forward good deeds. But it wasn't enough. 100 ships, maybe 200. The Jektar had thousands. Then Marcus had an idea. "Put it on the net, all of it. Everything about the rescue. Admiral Jackson will..." "What's he going to do, arrest you twice?" Sarah, humanity needs to know. Sarah recorded everything. The attack on her ship, floating in space, dying. The Vailani colony ship appearing like an angel. Captain Tyrell standing firm while his ship was torn apart. Kyla singing to younger children while the walls shook. The wooden carving in her pocket, all that remained of a dead world. Marcus uploaded it everywhere. Military forums, civilian networks, colony broadcasts. The title was simple, They Saved One of Us. Will we save them? Within an hour, Sarah's communicator exploded with messages. I've got 12 ships in a freighter, Captain wrote. They're old, but they fly. Private yacht armed with mining equipment. Where do we meet? Reformed pirate crew here. 15 vessels. We're in. Colony ship Esperanza. We can't fight, but we can carry refugees. Sarah's eyes filled with tears as she read message after message. Farmers with converted transports, retired soldiers with private gunships, even a group of academy cadets who'd borrowed training vessels. Admiral Jackson appeared on her personal comm within 3 hours. His face was red with fury. Stand down immediately, Commander. This is treason. Then arrest me, Sarah said simply. But you'll have to arrest 3,000 ship captains too. 3,000? Jackson's voice cracked. And counting. Turns out humans don't like leaving debts unpaid. The Jektar will destroy you all. Maybe, but we're going anyway. Jackson's expression changed. For a moment, Sarah saw something else in his eyes. Pride, maybe? Or understanding? I can't help you, he said quietly. Officially, Earth condemns this action. Any participants will be considered criminals. I understand, sir. However, Jackson continued, enforcing those arrests will take time. Our patrol ships are undergoing maintenance. Won't be ready for 48 hours. Sarah's eyes widened. Jackson cut the connection. 2 days. They had 2 days to save the Vailani. The meeting point was an old fueling station in neutral space. Sarah arrived in a borrowed fighter to find chaos. Ships everywhere, no organization, no plan. Merchant vessels next to mining ships, next to luxury yachts with bolted-on weapons. She opened a general channel. This is Commander Chen. I know none of you signed up for military command, but if we're doing this, we need coordination. Who put you in charge? Someone asked. Before Sarah could answer, another voice cut in. The woman who started this. That's who. I'm following Chen. Same here. Chen leads, or I'm out. It was decided. Sarah looked at her ragtag fleet. Farmers, miners, merchants, soldiers without uniforms. Pirates seeking redemption. 3,000 ships held together by nothing but the idea that a debt should be repaid. All right, she said. Here's what we're going to do. We can't match the Jektar for firepower, but we don't need to. We just need to buy time and get the Vailani to safety. She assigned positions based on capabilities. Mining ships would use their industrial lasers as weapons. Freight haulers would ram enemy vessels if necessary. Fast ships would harass and distract. Colony ships would stand ready to evacuate refugees. What about the ones who die? A voice asked. Because people will die. Sarah thought of Captain Tyrell, standing calm while his ship burned. Then we die doing something worth dying for. Anyone who wants to leave, leave now. Nobody left. As they prepared to jump to hyperspace, Sarah received one last message. It was from Keela, somehow transmitted through multiple relays. Sarah, the Jektar are here. Hundreds of ships. Father says to forget us, to be safe, but I wanted to say thank you. For trying. Maybe in another life I'll see those blue oceans. Sarah gripped the wooden carving in her pocket. You'll see them in this life, she whispered. She opened the fleet channel. All ships, prepare for jump. We're going to save them, every last one. 3,000 voices answered as one. The volunteer fleet entered hyperspace, racing toward a battle they couldn't win, a debt they had to pay, and a promise that Sarah Chen intended to keep. The Vailani had saved one human. Now humanity was coming to save them all. Space tore open as 3,000 human ships dropped out of hyperspace. Sarah's tactical display lit up like a nightmare. The Jektar had brought 500 warships, each one a spider-like monster bristling with weapons. They surrounded the Vailani colony ship, which listed badly to one side, fires visible through hull breaches. The Jektar commander's voice crackled through the comm system. His translator made him sound like grinding metal. Unknown vessels, you enter Jektar combat space. Withdraw or be destroyed. Sarah opened a channel to respond. This is Commander Sarah Chen of Earth. That colony ship is under our protection. You're the ones who need to withdraw. Silence. Then laughter. Cold mechanical laughter. Earth sends merchant vessels and mining ships to threaten the Jektar Empire. Your weapons are tools. Your ships are tin cans. You are nothing. Sarah smiled grimly. We're human. That's enough. She cut the channel and opened fleet comm. All ships, remember your positions. Mining vessels, target their engines. Freighters, you're our battering rams. Fast movers, keep them confused. Colony ships, hang back until we clear a path. Chen, Rodriguez's voice came through. They're not taking us seriously. They're not even raising shields. Their mistake. All ships, attack! What happened next would be remembered in history books across the galaxy as either the bravest or most insane battle ever fought. The human fleet moved like a swarm of angry bees, each ship doing what it did best, just differently than usual. Mining ship Rockbreaker fired its industrial laser, meant for cutting through asteroids. It sliced through a Jektar cruiser's engine like butter. The spider ship spun wildly, crashing into another vessel. Ha! Rockbreaker's captain shouted. Who needs military weapons? A luxury yacht named Paradise Dream screamed past at speeds that shouldn't be possible for a civilian craft. Its owner, a rich thrill-seeker named Amanda Worth, had removed all safety limits. She dumped her cargo, hundreds of mining charges meant for her company, right in the path of 3 Jektar destroyers. The explosion lit up space, always wanted to do that. Amanda laughed, pulling away as fighters chased her. The freighter Steady Hand, captained by an old man named Chen Wu, no relation to Sarah, aimed straight for the biggest Jektar battleship. Cargo doors open. Chen Wu announced. Special delivery. Hundreds of industrial mining drones poured out, each programmed to attach and drill. They swarmed the battleship like metal termites. Within minutes, the mighty vessel was venting atmosphere from 1,000 tiny holes. But the Jektar were recovering from their surprise. Their weapons finally started firing. The human ship Dancing Star exploded, then Mercy's Wing, then 3 more in quick succession. Sarah's heart clenched, but she kept giving orders. Rodriguez, take your group left. Draw their fire. Lisa, punch through on the right. We need to reach the colony ship. The battle was chaos. A reformed pirate ship rammed a Jektar cruiser, both exploding in brilliant fire. A farming vessel sprayed industrial fertilizer that somehow reacted with the Jektar shields, shorting them out. Academy cadets in their training ships flew maneuvers no sane pilot would try, confusing enemy targeting systems. Through it all, Sarah flew toward the Vallani ship. Her fighter was small, fast, hard to hit. She could see the colony ship clearly now. It was dying, but it was still fighting. Small defense turrets fired desperately at the surrounding Jektar. Captain Tyrell, Sarah called.
Can you hear me?
Static, then a weak voice. Commander Chen? You came back? We all came back. Every human who could fly a ship, hold on. Sarah saw movement on her tactical display. A massive Jektar dreadnought was turning its main gun toward the colony ship. One shot would end everything. All ships near Grid 7, stop that dreadnought. 12 human vessels responded. They weren't warships. They were cargo haulers, passenger shuttles, and a ship that normally delivered mail. But they flew straight at the dreadnought without hesitation. The mail ship broadcast on an open channel. The captain sounded young, maybe 20. Hey, Mom, if you're listening, I'm doing something good. Something important. The small ships hit the dreadnought from all angles. Some bounced off its shields. Others exploded on impact. But the mail ship, through luck or skill, hit right where the main gun connected to the hull. The gun twisted, fired, and the shot went wide, missing the colony ship by meters. Sarah blinked away tears. So many dying. But they kept coming. Chen! Lisa Park's voice cut through. We've got a problem. More Jektar ships incoming. Another 300. Sarah's blood went cold. They were barely holding against 500. Another 300 would end them. Then something impossible happened. New contacts appeared on the screen, but they weren't Jektar. Sleek silver ships she didn't recognize. Rocky, asteroid-like vessels. Crystalline forms that hurt to look at. A new voice came through the comms. It spoke perfect English with a musical accent. Commander Chen, this is Captain Seiler of the Altarian Federation. We heard what your people are doing. We're here to help. And the Braun Collective stands with humanity, another voice boomed. The crystal mines remember when humans helped us, a third added. We return the favor. Sarah's tactical screen kept lighting up with new arrivals. 20 species, then 30. Each with the same story. Humans had helped them once, asking nothing in return. A rescued explorer here. A repaired ship there. Small kindnesses that were remembered. The Jektar commander's voice returned, but now it held fear. This is impossible. You're primitives, neutrals, you don't fight together. Sarah opened a wide channel. You're right. We don't usually fight together. But you made one mistake. You attacked someone who showed kindness to a human. And humans? She paused, thinking of all the ships around her, all the people who'd come without being ordered. Humans remember. And we bring our friends. The battle turned. The Jektar, faced with ships from across the galaxy, began to retreat. But they had one last card to play. The dreadnought, damaged but functional, turned its repaired gun toward the colony ship again. Sarah saw it happening in slow motion. The gun charging. The colony ship trying to move but too damaged to escape. She made a decision. All power to engines, she told her fighter's computer. She flew straight at the dreadnought's gun barrel. Her tiny fighter versus a weapon meant to destroy capital ships. It was insane. It was suicide. It was human. Chen, no. Rodriguez screamed over comms. Sarah thought of Kyla singing, of Captain Thyrell's calm courage, of the wooden carving in her pocket. You saved one of us, she whispered and flew into the gun barrel. The explosion was massive. Sarah's fighter detonated inside the gun, the reaction traveling down into the dreadnought's core. The entire ship cracked in half. For a moment, everything stopped. Both fleets paused, watching the dreadnought die. Then the Jektar fled, all of them, jumping to hyperspace as fast as they could. They'd learned a terrible lesson. Attacking those under humanity's protection meant facing not just humans, but everyone humans had ever helped. In the silence that followed, rescue ships swarmed the Vellani colony ship. The badly damaged vessel was evacuated, its 50,000 souls transferred to safety, but everyone was looking for one small fighter that wasn't there. Did anyone see an escape pod? Rodriguez asked desperately. Anyone? Silence, then a weak signal. From inside a piece of dreadnought wreckage, a single escape pod beacon blinked. Sarah Chen, impossible as always, had survived. As they pulled her pod in, she could hear the cheering. 3,000 human ships and more from other species, all celebrating. They'd done it. They'd saved them all. But Sarah only cared about one thing. The Vellani, she gasped as they pulled her from the pod. Are they safe? Every last one, Rodriguez assured her. Every last one. Earth had never seen anything like it. The sky above New Geneva filled with ships of every size and shape. Human vessels, battered and scorched, flew beside the elegant forms of the Alterians, the massive bulk of the Brawn, and the strange crystalline ships that seemed to sing as they moved. Sarah stood on the observation deck of the medical station, her arm still in a sling from her escape pod adventure. Below she could see crowds gathering, millions of people looking up in wonder. The news feeds were going crazy. The government didn't know what to do. Admiral Jackson entered the room quietly. Sarah didn't turn around. I should arrest you, he said. You should, Sarah agreed. 3,000 ships, 47 species, the largest gathering of Allied vessels in known history. He moved to stand beside her. All because you couldn't follow orders. All because the Vellani saved me. Jackson was quiet for a moment. The Earth Council is in emergency session. They don't know if they should give you a medal or a prison sentence. I don't care what they decide, Sarah said honestly. Look, she pointed to a particular ship below, a familiar pearl-white vessel, damaged but flying. The Vellani colony ship had arrived at Earth. They're requesting permission to land, Jackson said. The Council doesn't know what to do. We've never had 50,000 refugees ask for sanctuary before. Then maybe it's time to start, Sarah said. Before Jackson could respond, the door opened again. Captain Thyrell entered, walking slowly. His injuries were healing, but he looked older than before. Behind him was Kyla, her large eyes bright with excitement. Commander Chen, Thyrell said formally. Then his formal manner broke and he smiled. Sarah, my friend. Sarah hugged him carefully, mindful of both their injuries. Kyla wrapped all four arms around her waist. You kept your promise, the young Vellani said. You came back for us. We all did, Sarah said. She looked at Admiral Jackson. Sir, this is Captain Thyrell and his daughter Kyla. Captain, this is Admiral Jackson, my commanding officer. Jackson studied the Vellani for a long moment. Then to Sarah's surprise, he saluted. Captain, on behalf of Earth, I apologize for our initial response. You saved one of our best. We should have acted immediately. Tyrell returned the salute, though the gesture was unfamiliar to him. Admiral, we saved a life because it was right. That your people came for us. This is more than we ever dreamed. Sarah. Keela pulled at her sleeve. Is that it? Is that Earth? Through the window, the blue planet hung in space, clouds swirling over continents and seas. That's it, Sarah said softly. It's beautiful, Kyla whispered. Just like you said. The comm system crackled to life. Admiral Jackson, the Council requests your immediate presence. And Commander Chen's, Jackson sighed. Time to face the music. Captain Tyrell, would you come as well? The Council should hear from you directly. The Council chamber was packed, not just with officials, but with representatives from all the species that had joined the battle. The 5 admirals sat at their high bench, looking overwhelmed. This is unprecedented, Admiral Torres began. Commander Chen, your actions saved 50,000 lives. Captain Seiler of the Alterians interrupted. He stood tall and graceful, and reminded the galaxy of something we'd forgotten. Which is? Torres asked. That kindness is not weakness, that debts should be repaid, that humans, for all their chaos, remember both good and evil done to them. A Braun representative stood, their rocky form grinding as they moved. The Braun remember when human miners shared their water with us during the drought of Kepler 7. They had little. They shared anyway. One by one, representatives stood. Each had a story. Humans who had helped without being asked. Small kindnesses that weren't small at all. Finally, Captain Tyrell stood. Honored Council, I speak for 50,000 souls who live because one human made a promise. But more than that, I speak for the million others who now know that in this cold universe there are those who will come when called. He pulled out a datapad. This morning we received messages from 17 other refugee groups. Species driven from their homes. They saw what humanity did for us. They're asking for help. The Council murmured among themselves. Torres looked frustrated. We can't save everyone. No, Sarah said, standing despite not being given permission to speak. But we can try. That's what makes us human. And if the Jektar return? Jackson asked. If they come for Earth? It was Keela who answered, her young voice carrying surprising strength. Then others will come for Earth just as Earth came for us. She was right. Already treaties were being discussed. Alliances formed not from political necessity but from something simpler. Gratitude and respect. Jackson stood. The Council will deliberate. Everyone except Commander Chen and Captain Tyrell, please leave. When the room emptied, Jackson turned to them. The Villani will be granted sanctuary on Earth. Full citizenship within a year if they choose. This is already decided. Sarah's eyes widened. Then why, the show politics. But Chen, what you started, it's bigger than you know. We're getting requests from everywhere. Ships wanting to join an Earth alliance. Not for our technology or military might, but because we came when called. He pulled up a hologram. Stars filled the room, and among them, countless ships. This is what's gathering at our borders. The collective, some are calling it. Not an empire. Not a federation. Just people who believe in paying back kindness. Tyrell studied the display. It's beautiful. It's terrifying, Jackson corrected. And wonderful. And it started because you pulled one human from space. Later, as the sun set over Earth's oceans, Sarah stood with the Villani on their first day on a new world. Thousands of them spread across the refugee processing center, but it wasn't sad. Children played. Adults laughed. They planted seeds from their world in Earth soil. Rodriguez approached along with Lisa Park and Marcus Webb. Behind them came others from the volunteer fleet. Amanda Worth, the crazy yacht pilot. Chen Wu, the old freighter captain. Even the young male pilot who'd saved the colony ship. So, Rodriguez said, what now? Back to normal? Sarah laughed. Normal? Look around. Nothing will be normal again. She was right. The battle had changed everything. Earth, once isolated and cautious, now stood at the center of something new. Ships arrived daily. Some came for trade, some for protection. All came because they'd heard the story of the volunteer fleet. Keela ran up to them, her 4 hands full of earth flowers someone had given her. Sarah, look! They're different from ours, but just as beautiful. Sarah knelt beside her. Different but beautiful. That's a good way to put it. Captain Tyrell joined them, the wooden carving in his hands, the one he'd given Sarah, which she'd returned to him. No, he said, pressing it back into her hands. This belongs to you now. A reminder of what? Sarah asked. That one act of kindness can change the universe. A year later, Sarah stood on the bridge of a new ship. Not a military vessel, but something different. The UES Unity, they called it. The first ship jointly crewed by humans and Vailani, with officers from a dozen other species. Their mission was simple: find those who need help and help them. No politics, no calculating worth. Just help. Keela, now her communications officer despite her young age, looked up from her station. Sarah were receiving a distress signal. Small transport under attack by raiders. How far? Sarah asked. 2 hours at maximum speed. But Sarah, it's deep in disputed territory. It could be dangerous. Sarah thought of Captain Thyrol, who now served as Earth's first alien ambassador. She thought of all the ships that had answered her call. She thought of the male pilot who'd given everything for strangers. They need help? She asked. Yes, then we go. Maximum speed. As the Unity jumped to hyperspace, Sarah touched the wooden carving she kept on her command chair. The Vailani had saved one human. Humanity had returned for all of them. And now together they would save others, because that's what people do when they remember kindness. They pass it on. The galaxy watched and learned. The Jektar Empire, once so powerful, found themselves increasingly alone. Other aggressive species thought twice before attacking the weak. Because now everyone knew the truth. Attack someone who had earned humanity's loyalty and you wouldn't just face humans, you'd face everyone humanity had ever helped. Everyone who'd learned that kindness, even in the darkest void, was worth fighting for. And in schools across Earth and beyond, children learned a simple lesson that would shape the future. You save one of us, we return for all of you. That's what humans do. We remember, and we return.